Welcome to MobileBeat 2016. So this weekend, I was celebrating my wedding anniversary, and I decided I wanted to look for a romantic B&B, right, somewhere in the Bay Area, not too far, because my wife is pregnant again, and it's hard to travel. So what I did is I decided to look in the Santa Cruz Mountains area after doing some research. And it turns out that if you've ever looked for a romantic B&B in the Bay Area, there's very little inventory, right? And it's crazily expensive. And so I took, it's embarrassing, about 2 hours to look for this place. Did the refining. Using Google Maps, I narrowed in on a place called Bonnie Doon. Anyone heard of that? And I found a really nice, wonderful place called the Redwood Croft. As you can see, in the middle of the redwoods. And what I did is I used Google, but then I decided, because I'd spent that much time, that I wanted to double check that I had the best offer. And so I used a bot called Mezi that I'd heard it did a travel offering. And they have a human-assisted bot, and so I asked my preferences to Mezi, and they went off and did a half hour of research, human-assisted, and came back with 3 offers. So who do you think won? Was it Google with search and the Maps app? Or was it Mezi? Well, I have 3 conclusions. So both search and bot are valuable in completely different ways, right? So it turns out that they were complementary, that actually neither of them were able to solve that solution by themselves entirely. Right now, Google actually, to be official, won because it was the one that actually helped me find that place, the Redwood Croft. They were the first ones to deliver it. But Google won because I put all that time, and I had the incentive to put that time into working, right? But it was a close call. So Mezi actually offered something, actually a cheaper alternative that my wife liked a lot. And so Google lets me put more time into it. It's better in complex searches. But Mezi offered easy assistance, did a lot of work for me, understood my request because it was an assistant, personal assistant, actually humans behind it, and actually helped confirm that I had the best deal. And if I was moving quicker, I think the point is that Mezi would have won, right? So conclusion number 2, for each use case, you need to know where the bot's work should end and where yours begins. Let me explain that. This is a second example. I'm having to book a flight to Ireland for a niece's wedding in September. And so again, over the weekend, I went to Mezi in Google. This time, I booked the flight with Mezi. The reason why is because Mezi flagged a lot of the miscellaneous fees up front. So for example, it was the first to flag that my 20-month-old, actually you have to pay for instead of going for free like in domestic US. So I began to trust Mezi, and that's why I booked. But Google was equally as important because Google actually flagged a couple of other things for me and said, hey, if you delay your return flight, you actually get $200 off, right? And there's a convenient nonstop option, which is perfect for my pregnant wife that Mezi hadn't shown because I was so focused on saving costs, right? So conclusion number 3, actually on the end of the conclusion too, basically just to summarize, I only booked with Mezi once I curated with a personal experience on Google, right? So I knew where to step in and actually help Mezi with my preferences. So conclusion number 3 is bots are awesome assistants. So what I didn't tell you was I just kept sending Mezi to do work for me. So for example, my aunt came up with a nice hotel option, but I checked with Mezi and just to see if its default hotel in Ireland was actually the cheapest. And so I didn't have to do all the work for it. So a couple of caveats here. This is early, and so the conversational user interface, or the bot, is getting better. So for example, Mezi has only been around for 6 months. And it's learning through machine learning and natural language processing to get better. And it's already a valuable personal assistant, and that's saying something significant. But let me tell you an example, right? So for example, it knows that my wife is pregnant, and that I might prefer nonstop options now. Indeed, when I was booking that hotel in Ireland, it suggested, hey, how about this hotel right by the airport? You might want to get rest right away. So it was learning. I decided to book the hotel again with Mezi and not Google. So we're going to hear more about Mezi going forward. Just wanted to explain that Mezi is just one of many companies in this billion-dollar travel industry that are represented here today. We have Airbnb over the next couple of days. Airbnb, Booking.com, Expedia, Hipmunk, TripAdvisor, Trivago, Snap Travel, all of them representing and doing really cool things with artificial intelligence and the conversational user interface. So caveat number 2, search is converging with the conversational UI, right? And mixing in natural language processing and AI, right? So this is going the other side. So it's really all coming together. What I mean by that is this summer it's happening, right? So Allo is an app. Google's kind of leading the charge and bringing all this together with Allo, and you're in a chat messaging format, and you're corresponding with a friend about an Italian restaurant, and it's going to suggest you should book that restaurant through OpenTable, right? So it's not only predicting what you want, but suggesting it and actually continuing through with the booking. So it's not just Google. Every one of the major platforms, as you're well aware, have announced something over the last year combining artificial intelligence CUI in one way or another, where it's Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Kik, Facebook, and others. So anytime you put together these multiple ingredients, you increase the chance of a significant kind of reaction. And we saw that 10 years ago when we merged things like data processing, faster networks, web design, hardware innovation, and that sparked the mobile revolution. This year, we're seeing the same thing happen with conversational UI. And you know what? The same winners that occurred last time, they're going to show up this time. And those winners, actually, they're going to be different winners, but the solution is making sure you surprise and delight, and you maintain that whole customer journey, and you're able to maintain that customer journey with conversational UI. Second point that I haven't talked about is personality. It's going to be really important. We're going to be debating and learning this over the next couple of days at MobileBeat. We have a great program in store for you. So are you ready to get started? All right.